Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to bring you guys a glory point guide and sort of like an arena tip guide on how to farm glory points, because first of all, I want to mention to you guys that glory points are one of the best resources in the game for progression, and they're one of the only things in Summoner's War which is guaranteed. You know exactly how many glory points you're going to get for winning, and you know exactly how much you have to spend to get certain upgrades. And first of all, okay, before we even talk about strategies on farming glory points, which I follow and I recommend to you guys, I will begin by talking about the glory shop. Now, the first thing you're going to want to buy every month is the Devilmon, which costs 180 glory points. You need to farm a minimum of 180. The Devilmon is the most important thing because you can only pick up one per week, and they're one of the most valuable things you can get in the game, and you're going to really need them later on. So if you pick them up when you're an early game player right from the beginning, is going to be really helpful. And yeah, because Devilmon are capped, you're not able to farm them, and the only way to get them are from the glory shop, as well as from TOA whenever it resets, and like events, whatever Summoner's War is going to offer to you. Now, the next two buildings you need to work on are right here. Not the mana buildings. Don't even touch the mana buildings. There's no reason to upgrade them because you're going to be farming the bulk of your mana from dungeons and scenarios. These mana buildings hardly give you any mana. It really is pretty negligible. Don't even think about them. But the energy buildings are what you're going to want to max out as the first buildings that you want to focus on if you can get over 180 glory points per week. Now, which one do you begin with? I would level them up evenly if you're a regular player. If you're a player that plays, like, every 5 hours or every 4 hours pretty regularly throughout the day, definitely the Mysterious Plant is more effective for you because this will increase the energy regeneration rate. It will make the energy come back faster. And yeah, that's really good for you. Now, if you're the type of player who can only play like 1 or 2 times in the entire day, like maybe right in the morning and then maybe at night, then you're going to benefit more from the Sanctum of Energy because this one will increase the capacity of the energy you can hold and increase how much energy is at your maximum energy. And then if you can only play at 2 like specific times, then having that high cap energy is better for you because you get 1 extra energy for each point into this building. It also is better if you're going to be refilling a lot, because when you're refilling, it gives you energy based on your maximum energy each time you refill. So if you have high maximum energy, your refills are more valuable. But yeah, both of these you should max them out as the first buildings ever. Try to level them up equally for an average player. Now we're going to talk about towers, and I have almost all of my towers maxed, but I've been farming for over a year. Probably over a year and a half, pretty regularly. So it really does take a long time to upgrade all of these buildings, but they're so worth it because each one of these buildings, this is something I didn't know when I was a newer player. Each one of the stat buildings, which will increase the stats of your monsters, don't only activate an arena. They also help you in scenarios, they help you in dungeons, they help you with even friend reps. Your towers are applied on top of the friend rep. So these towers are amazing. I thought that they were only arena, so I didn't even focus on them at all. I was only doing the energy buildings and I was saving up my glory points, but then I realized they're useful all around and they give huge stat bonuses. So for example, if we take a look at the crit damage building, it goes up to 25% crit damage. So that's 25% free crit damage only by farming glory points. Like, this is on top of all of your runes as well. So it's a guaranteed benefit to all of your monsters. These towers are too good to pass up on. Now, which one do I recommend for the first one? I would probably focus on the Sky Tribe Totem, which is speed. Now, speed is beneficial on all of your monsters. Every single monster in the game can benefit with speed. There's no monster, I believe, that gets worse with speed, and they all improve when they have higher speed. So this is something that's really efficient because it applies to all of your monsters and helps them out, and also good for your dungeon farming teams because speed is allowing you to get the debuffs up quicker, heals up quicker, all of that. However, the issue with the Sky Tribe Totem is it's very expensive compared to the other totems. However, if I had to pick a first one to try and level up, it would be the Sky Tribe Totem. Now, this one over here, the crit damage tower, is really good because it's really cheap. For the amount of crit damage you're getting, it is by far the most valuable tower because it's really it doesn't cost that many glory points to upgrade each level, and you can get it up quickly. However, the issue is crit damage does not really benefit support monsters. It does help out, allowing them to do a bit more damage, but really, crit damage is only meant for your nuking monsters or, yeah, basically monsters that you're running crit damage slot for already. And yeah, so this is the most efficient towers. What I did actually was I maxed my speed Sky Tribe Totem, then I moved into Fallen Ancient because of just how valuable it is. So speed and then crit damage, that's what I did. And speed also, you don't have to max it out, because the weird thing about how speed upgrades in the Glory Point building shop is that it goes up by 2% the first time you upgrade it, then 1%, then 2%, then 1%, and it alternates all the way up to level 10. So at level 9, it actually has 14% speed, and it only gains another 1% by getting it to level 10, and it costs a lot of glory points, so a lot of the times people leave their Sky Tribe Totem at level 9, which is fine. Crit damage is what I recommend next because it's so cheap, and then from this point on, I would go, and this is what I did, HP percent and defense percent, which is the Crystal Altar right here, and the defense percent is the Guardstone. These two are again really good because think about it, every monster on your team or that you're using can benefit from HP and defense. Of course your nuking monsters won't benefit that much because they probably have low base like defense and low base HP, and they're just meant to deal a lot of damage. But it does help them to some extent survive a little bit longer and maybe not die to an attack that would kill them. So those two towers are really good. The main reason I went for those two towers is also I was working on my raid team at the time, and getting more HP percent and defense percent on your entire team from Glory Point buildings alone is really, really valuable, because otherwise it can be tough for them to survive. So I like HP and defense percent. You can level them up evenly, they cost about the same. Get them up to level 10, and then when you're done with that, go into... Now this one is really debatable, and I actually didn't follow probably the most efficient path. The most efficient path is probably to go for the Ancient Sword for the attack building, because this will give attack to all of your monsters. Now, like we talked about before, I like HP and defense percent more than attack, because attack will only really benefit your damage dealers. It won't really benefit your support monsters all that much. But when we're moving on to attack, this one will apply to all of your damage dealers, all elements, but these elemental ones will apply to only one specific element. And why would you pick these over the main one? Well, for the reason that these ones are a lot cheaper. These elemental attack buildings are probably around half the price for each upgrade. And for that reason, if you have a lot of single element damage dealer, then it may be more beneficial for you to max out these element towers before going for the overall attack tower. Just because it's cheaper to do. So at the time, I was trying to break into Dragon's V10 speed team when I was ready to upgrade my attack buildings, and I was focusing a lot on the water tower because I had a triple Tark team and Galleon. They're all water monsters. They can really benefit from more damage. It will make my Dragon speed runs faster and safer. So I went for this water elemental building. And I definitely like that decision. Although the Ancient Sword would also help out other people. It would help out my Verd. It would help out my Teshar, my Lucians and Giants. It would help out my, fire monsters like my Lukasha, my Wind Lich in Necro. So the Ancient Sword is all around. Elemental is if you have a lot of elemental damage dealers you're trying to focus on. But the advantage of the elemental towers is that it is quite a bit cheaper than the overall Ancient Sword. Anyway, then now you're going to want to, after you decide one of these two, you're going to want to max the other one you didn't max out, and then you work down the line in terms of whichever damage dealer you value the most. Like if you just did water, you finished up water, and you finished up the Ancient Sword, and you have a couple of fire damage dealers, then you can go for the Fire Sanctuary. And then when you're done with that, go for the Wind. And light and dark, I don't recommend until the end, unless you have like crazy dark and light damage dealers like a Fae, like CJ? Yeah, I still don't know how to pronounce the name, but the Dark Samurai, or Tosi, which is the Light Samurai. If you have some of those crazy monsters, you can go for these two towers, but most of the time, you're not going to have them. And then these towers don't even matter that much. I'm upgrading my Light Sanctuary, but it really doesn't matter, because I have no light damage dealers out of all my monsters. And dark damage dealers, the only one I have is Veramos, who will scale off of attack. Like Veramos has a little bit more damage with more attack, especially on a skill 1, because it has an attack multiplier in there, but not really too important. So these two towers are what you're going to want to max out next. Now for the Arcane Booster Tower, which I've upgraded, and there was one more tower I believe I upgraded, which is not entirely too important, but I want to talk about it because they can help. Yeah, Crystal Altar, okay. Was this it? No, this is not it. Okay, there was one tower, I believe, which would increase the attack speed of your team. Where is it? How could I not find it? Arcane Blaster or something like that? Sanctum of Energy, Guardstone, Light Sanctuary, Ancient Sword, Arcane Booster Tower. Okay, so how do you increase the damage of your... Wait a second, because if I check out my arena defense right here, I have attack plus 10% and speed plus 20% on my arcane tower. Is the attack plus 10% all of these towers? No, it isn't. I really think there is another building. Okay, this is the arcane booster tower. Where is the tower which... Okay, right here, the crystal rock. Now, why is that not showing up in the glory shop for me? Oh, it's right here. Okay, this is the one. Okay, this is the one, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, these two towers are not too important. These are arena towers, and really, they don't really make that much of a difference because all they do is help your arcane tower come up a little bit faster, do a little bit more damage. It isn't too noticeable, to be completely honest with you guys, and I only went for them after I was done with the main 3 elements of these attack buildings and all other overall glory point buildings. And then I was like, okay, I have light and dark left, which will really not benefit me at all. And then I have arcane towers, which probably don't really benefit you that much, but they're better than a Pokken Eye. They're fine. Maybe it can net you out one more win during rush hour, but most of the time they're not going to be too important. Anyway, okay, so this one ups the attack power, and if you have all of the attack, like the arcane towers that you can buy from the building shop over here, then it will up it at maximum rank from 3000 damage to 3300 damage, 10% higher, which is, it's like 300 extra damage. Usually that will not be the deciding factor of whether you win on arena defense. It's usually the runes on your monsters, but yeah, and this one will keep, or make the arcane booster tower fire a little bit quicker, but again, because the arcane booster tower fires really slowly, even 20% quicker is still going to be pretty slow. But again, maybe you could net out another win with these towers, but most of the time you're not going to get that much of a benefit out of them, and you can't really hope for them leading to a win on your arena defense. It has to be about your monsters and your strategy. Okay, but then you can go for light and dark. I would probably go, yeah, because again, these last 4 towers for most of you are not going to be impactful at all. But because we have the glory points, we might as well upgrade them. Who knows, I may pull an OP light dark damage dealer in the future. I may want to try out a 3-star light dark damage dealer. And for that reason, I'm going to max out these towers because they're free stats. Why not do it? Same with the tower right here. The only buildings which I think I'm never going to max out are these mana buildings right here, because they're really not good at all, because this will only increase your mana stone maximum by plus 400 on, I think, all of your places, but at max rank this can only go up to like plus 2000. And what is 2000 mana? To a late game player, that's nothing. That's one dungeon. Like, one dungeon run should get you over 10,000 or 15,000 on average. So I don't really see the points in these 2 buildings right here. Probably what I'm going to do is when I'm done with the light tower, which I have 2 more levels to do, I'm just going to get my weekly Devilmon like I do, and then just go for the mystical scrolls. And the fire scroll, water scroll, wind scroll have a better chance of pulling some game-changing monster. But guys, now I want to point out that if you're a newer player, do not get tempted by the scrolls. They can be very tempting, especially because when you're saving up, you're like, okay, I have 240, I have the perfect amount, I'm just going to buy a scroll. But if you think about the odds of you actually pulling something important from the scrolls is pretty low. But you know, if you spend your glory points on these buildings, you're going to get stat improvements across all of your monsters that you're ever going to use. And that's why I'd like to focus on these first. And actually, in fact, I've only ever bought 1 scroll from the glory point shop. Because if you look, there's some mission which will say like buy 5 scrolls from the glory point shop, and I only have 1 out of 5 in that. So I've only bought 1 scroll from the glory shop, and that was when I was really desperate to pull some game-changing Nat 4. So if you are really desperate and you have a lot of like Nat 4s you want to pull, maybe with the fire element like Qua, Verd, I don't know, whatever other fire Nat 4s, Lisa, monsters like that, then you can go for the fire scroll. It doesn't hurt too much, but really, I would put an emphasis on the buildings first. Anyway, that should be a pretty much complete comprehensive glory point guide. When you're done with the buildings, which will take a really long time, it really does, but it will feel really good when you've completed it. Then you can go for the scrolls, but yeah, don't expect too much from them. Okay, now we're going to talk about strategy. So what do I do throughout the week? Now, if you're anything like me, which you probably are, you don't have that much time to play throughout the week. And even if you have a lot of time, you're going to have 10 wings adding up very quickly. Sometimes you're going to be distracted. You're not going to be able to constantly be able to, double Lucian everything or use your arena offense. And you don't want to sit there maybe and do like a 5-minute clear on a defense you can't normally hit. So what I do is I put a fake monster in here, which is what a lot of people do. I try to tank my rank down to like fighter rank. And then all I do is I go to my arena tower and I begin my fights. Right now I'm Conqueror because I just cleared up my wings, but I'm going to drop down to fighter. And okay, so we're going to talk about what you get at different stages, like Fighter, Challenger, Conqueror, Beginner. But I like to go to a range where I know I can auto defenses and just go play, auto and then clear it, play auto, clear it. And another thing I like to do is be able to clear all of the wings or all of the defenses on a list. Because if you can clear a list, you gain an extra 2 wings, which is really good because then you get 2 extra attacks in there. So what I would recommend, like for a player like me, most of the time I can do this in Conqueror, and sometimes I go down to like low Conqueror 1, and then I just clear a list and get free 2 wings. But for you guys, most of you, I would recommend dropping down to Fighter, maybe even Challenger. It doesn't matter. As long as you know you can clear the wings quickly and clear the list completely, you're going to benefit from it. And yeah, so you want to try to use your wings whenever they're up, and by tanking the rank, it makes it a lot easier and more exciting to do them. Because if you have to go for like a really intense fight that could take you 2 or 3 minutes, especially if you don't have a speed clear team, it can get really annoying really quickly. It requires a lot of focus, and you're not always going to have that. You may get put off of arena, and then you might just not farm any glory points. But if you tank the rank, go down to even Challenger, you're going to be able to auto through the defenses, you're going to be able to clear the list, you're going to be able to get your glory points really quickly. Under 10 minutes, you should be done. And then you will add up and get more glory points than if you went and sat in Conqueror. Now, if you have infinite amount of time and you're happy to take long fights and you can try to clear the list even in Conqueror, then obviously the most efficient thing to do is stay in Conqueror, farm it out, clear every single list you can, and get those free 2 wings. And then on a 10 wing thing and a list clear, you're going to get 12 wings in total times the +5 that you get for +5 glory points for defeating Conqueror. You get 60 glory points by farming 10 wings in Conqueror level. But in Fighter, you get 48, which is not that much worse, right? But if you know you can always clear every defense quickly in Fighter, I prefer that than going to Conqueror and maybe you can't clear, like if you can't clear 1 person on the list, then already Fighter is becoming almost as efficient. Because if you can't clear a list in Conqueror, you're only going to get 50 per 10 wings. But in Fighter, you should always be able to clear a list. You're going to get 48 every time, and it will be easier fights. So that is why I try to drop the rank. Another reason is I gain no benefit for farming in Guardian compared to Conqueror. So I can safely drop down to low Conqueror without losing anything at all and just making it easier on myself. So because we don't have that much time to play all the time, and we don't want to really play against really hard arena defenses because it requires more thinking, more time, more focus, which we don't always have. So that is what I recommend to farm the glory points. Try to use your wings whenever they're up. Go down to a range which is easy for you to farm. Hopefully you can clear the list, and that is quick for you to farm as well, because otherwise you're going to get put off of arena, and yeah, you're going to lose your momentum and how many glory points you can farm per week. Anyway guys, that is pretty much what I do. I hope this helped you out, give you a little bit of a guide on what to do, what to focus on your glory point buildings, and how to maybe farm more glory points in the future. And yeah, good luck with the glory point farming. It is a really tough and long grind, but the stats you gain from it are permanent and they're guaranteed, which is something really strange for Summoner's War, because a lot of things in Summoner's War are random, completely RNG based, like runes, monsters, all of that. But these glory point stats increases are confirmed. They're always going to happen. And yeah, all you have to do is farm your butt off in the arena. But yeah, I hope these tips kind of helped you out to maybe figure out a way to do that quickly and reliably. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and till the next one, everyone, peace out for now.